North Korean leader Kim Jong-Un has declared that his country's navy will deploy nuclear weapons as the United States and its allies start new military drills in the Korean peninsula. Selah Yeon reports.
Kim Jong-un declared that the North Korean Navy will become a component of state nuclear deterrence as South Korea, the US, and Japan held trilateral naval drills amid nuclear threats from Pyongyang. The three allies held an 11-day summer bilateral exercise last week, August 21st, to which Pyongyang viewed as a preparation for invasion. In his speech in celebration of the country's Navy Day last Monday, Kim stated that there is imminent danger of nuclear war due to the U.S. provocation. Furthermore, Kim also said that the military units of each service will be given new weaponry that is aligned with the government's decision to improve its tactical nuclear weapons operation. Since the year prior, North Korea has conducted around 100 weapon tests, many of which are nuclear-capable missiles designed to reach the U.S., South Korea, and Japan. In addition, Kim accused the U.S. of deploying its strategic assets around the Korean peninsula with its naval drills. He also recalled the trilateral summit among Japan, South Korea, and the U.S. that aimed to counter North Korea's nuclear program. In connection with this, Kim called U.S. President Joe Biden, South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol, and Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida as gang bosses. Solis Selah Yeon SMNI News, South Korea.
Although Japan has already started releasing treated radioactive wastewater from the crippled Fukushima nuclear power plant, many are still urging the said country to stop its discharge, and one of them is an environmentalist from South Africa who joined the growing opposition from the international community. Natsumi Kojima has the details.
Many environmentalists from Japan and the rest of the world have since denounced Japan's act, saying it blatantly violates international law and would impact the world as a whole. However, despite cries from in and out of the country, Japan stood firm with its decision and began its wastewater discharge last August 24. Calvin Vick, former director of the Department of Tourism of Western Cape Province in South Africa, said the discharge of nuclear-contaminated water could wreak havoc on the global marine ecosystem and jeopardize the health of mankind for generations to come.
You put that water back into the sea where the fish can consume that. And we know about nanoparticles, the very small nuclear particles that can enter into the ecosystem. And I will eat it, my children will eat it, and the grandchildren will eat it. We don't know what the effect of that would be.
According to Vic, a nanoparticle entering the ecosystem could end up in the plates of the next generation through seafood consumption, and its effects on the body are still unknown.
We should be very careful of the after effects, of the byproducts of development, and don't dump the byproduct of your development onto other people. That would be my message. So let's work together as common community and find solutions that's sustainable, and let's looking at the interests of future generations, and let's build hope for the future instead of devastation and disaster.
Vic said today's globalized world cannot afford such far-reaching global ecological and public health consequences of a certain country's willful move. Ijon Hyun Krakojum Natsumi News at Taishimashita, SMNI News, Japan.
Doctors in Australia removed a 3-inch-long parasitic worm from a woman's brain in what is considered the first ever case discovered on humans. Deva Suarez reports.
A 64-year-old woman from New South Wales was sent to the hospital for brain surgery after doctors found abnormalities that required urgent operation. The doctors, however, were not prepared for the unexpected discovery they were about to make while the patient was at the operating table. The neurosurgeon who handled the patient said the 8-centimeter-long parasitic roundworm was still alive and wriggling after they had extracted it from the woman's brain. The startling discovery made the experts rush to find out what precisely the parasite was. Results from molecular tests showed it was a roundworm usually found in pythons. Doctors and experts believe a carpet python spread might have shed the parasite eggs through its feces and spread it onto grass and plants touched by the patient. The journey towards discovering the roundworm started when the woman was admitted to a local hospital in January 2021 after complaining of stomach pains and diarrhea, followed by constant dry cough, fever, and night sweats. Her symptoms elevated to forgetfulness and depression in less than a year. In June 2022, she underwent a biopsy, and doctors suggested conducting urgent surgery after a scan revealed abnormalities leading to the discovery of the parasite. An expert based at Australian National University said the patient still needs to be treated for other larvae that might have invaded other parts of her body, such as her lungs and liver. Reporting from New South Wales, this is Devi Suarez, SMNI News, Australia.
Meta Platforms, the company that owns Facebook, rejected the proposed suspension of the Facebook account owned by Cambodia's former Prime Minister Hun Sen amid allegations he's using it to threaten political opponents. Anissa de Guzman has the details.
Cambodia's Ministry of Posts and Telecommunications has confirmed that Meta Platform Incorporated will no longer pursue the proposed suspension of former Prime Minister Hun Sen's Facebook account. The technology company said it has rejected the recommendation from its oversight board and noted that doing so would not be consistent with its policies, including its protocol on restricting accounts of public figures during the civil unrest. In June 2023, the 22 members of the Board of Supervisors of Meta Platforms Incorporated had recommended to suspend the former Prime Minister's Facebook account and accused him of posting prohibited content. In response, the Ministry of Posts and Telecommunications had decided to expel Facebook representatives from Cambodia and stop all their activities. The ministry also declared the 22 members of the board as persona non grata. On Tuesday night, the ministry welcomed Meta's decision not to suspend former Prime Minister Hun Sen and said the 22 members of the board are not welcome in the country because they made bad recommendations that are political in nature. Cambodia's newly appointed Prime Minister Hun Manet, on the other hand, slammed his critics and told them they should eat their words after they claimed the U.S. and the EU do not recognize him as the Prime Minister of Cambodia. Di siya Anissa de Guzman, Rangan Chakuntep Mahanakon, SMNA News, Pratethay, Sawadika.